Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's a very special Monday morning podcast that we're actually recording on a Friday. And you're probably like, why are you doing something so special, Bill? Because it's the holiday season, you know? I love you guys, and a lot of you are real cunty to me didn't realize I was flying back from my big whirlwind tour of shaking my ass over there in Europe. So, and I mentioned on the podcast I was going to have one of my best friends here, favorite people in the goddamn business, has a huge comedy movie that actually transcends the genre. It's better than any Meryl Streep drama. From Anchorman 2, please welcome the one and only Dave Koechner, everyone.
Boo! A resounding boo. Bill Burr,
what's going on, man? Champ kind.
Yeah.
How am I? I'm psyched. I haven't seen the movie.
Whammy!
There you go.
That'll bounce around in your heads for a second, folks.
You got it. You got it out of the way.
I'm here with Bill Burr. I cannot tell you how happy I am, folks. I know you envy me. I envy me.
No, they don't. My podcast listeners, once they heard me read out loud, all the magic of anything that I was doing went away.
What do you mean read out loud?
When I do the advertisements.
Sales?
Yeah, when I'm not.
They make fun of you?
There's nothing. I think they actually feel bad for me. I mean, it's terrible.
That's not true.
This is what happened. I sucked at reading out loud in school, and now I'm reading out loud again, and the same thing happens where you're just trying to get to the end of it, so you start going faster and faster. Like the amount of times that I mispronounce my own name.
Your own name.
When I get to BillBurr.com.
What do you say?
Like Bill Burr. It's embarrassing. I just start doing it now like it's a golf thing.
Oh, okay.
And, I just realized how fucking hot it's going to get in this goddamn studio. Right. We're at the All Things Comedy podcast studios here for the very first interview. And so we're working out a lot of bugs. We got some echoes.
I couldn't be happier. Here's what we got. Emmett brought us some almonds.
Yep. We got
I'm going to enjoy an almond now.
Dave brought over
Can you hear that, Emmett? Yeah. Oh, I brought a beer.
Okay.
For Bill.
And you also brought your talents. Let's make sure we get this out just in case somebody lives under the rock. Anchorman 2, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. It continues. After fans for 10 years were asking, when is it continuing?
Right.
It's continuing right now.
It was supposed to open today, but they opened it Wednesday, 2 days early.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why we scheduled this, because this was going to be the exclusive opening day podcast, but only with the great Bill Burr. So Paramount did the switch. It's okay. They didn't clear it with Billy.
It's a dirty business.
It's a dirty business, folks.
They knew what was going to happen over here in our unheated, echoing studios.
They didn't want to compete with you.
So, what do I want to
Anchor Deuce.
So, last time I ran into you.
Yeah.
I was over in Dublin, and I send you a picture, right? Mm-hmm. For the listeners here, I'm in Dublin, sleepy, and I see a bus go by.
Can I back us up a little bit?
You can interrupt me all you want.
I'm going to back us up a little bit. So I'm thinking, I get a few tickets to the premiere. It's in New York City, not in Los Angeles, which is typical. And I'm thinking Bill was able to drop by the set when he came through Atlanta when we were shooting. And you're so amazing and magnanimous, and everybody in the cast adores you.
We don't do this on this podcast.
Too bad. You're going to take it.
If you're not going to give me shit, I'm not giving you shit. Out of here. I'll fucking hype another comedy.
You do it. So anyway,
I still know what you did last Sunday coming out.
Bill has to be here.
Whatever the fuck it is.
Bill Burr has to be here. So I invited Bill and his wife, and he goes, I have a show in Iceland that night, which was last Sunday.
Reykjavik. That was awesome.
Yeah, the 15th. Mm-hmm. So that's all I know. It's like, Bill will be out of country. Unlike you guys, I don't regularly check Bill's blog. So I didn't know. Anyway, I'm in London.
So I put all my dates on my blog that I don't write.
I'm in London. We're getting ready to do the premiere, and I get this text message from Bill Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr, as I say.
Bill Burr.
Yeah, I was coming from the airport, and I saw a bus go by, and it had Will and all you guys on the side of it. And, Anchorman 2, Legend Ron Burgundy continues. So I took the picture, and I sent it to Dave going, hey, man, they're hyping the shit, because the billboards were everywhere. I was like, they're hyping the shit out of your movie over here in Dublin.
I'm like, Dublin? You're in Dublin?
Yeah.
I'm in Dublin. Were we in Dublin that night or London?
I was in Dublin.
Holy shit!
I just
can't
landed.
remember where
It was fucking perfect, and I ended up doing. And he goes, "We got the premiere tonight. What time's your show? And we can go out and drink a couple of fucking lagers."
But how crazy is that? You can't make the premiere because you're going somewhere else. You're in Dublin the same night we're there doing the premiere, and you can't do it because you're doing your world tour.
Oh, Northern Europe, but we'll call it World Tour. It sounds great.
That's amazing.
I'll get to the rest of the world.
We do our little thing, our premiere.
And dance.
Bill does his song and dance. What theater? Where were you?
I was at the Vicar Street Theater, and I absolutely, so much of my childhood now makes sense after that crowd. I can't explain it, man. Just growing up outside of Boston. And I think I told you those stories that night. I mentioned them last Monday on the podcast, so I'll kind of I'll paraphrase them just not to bore the listeners. But, I've been doing this bit about, hugging your children, saying, if you hug them too much, they're pussies. If you don't do enough, they become psychos. So I always weave it in and go, my mother didn't hug me that much when I was a kid. And no one has ever reacted to that. And, literally 15, 20% of the Irish crowd just goes, "Aww," breaking my balls.
Right.
Fuck you. You need a hug, you pussy. No, it was but it was hilarious. And then in the end, I'm talking about how I'm giving out a free DVD to everybody who showed up to hopefully, maybe carpet bomb my special over there.
Smart.
Yeah. Well, I guess I should have just put it on Spotify, according to this internet chick. But
it's more personal to have it.
Yeah. So as I'm telling them, I'm giving them a free DVD. They're listening, and just some guy in the back just goes, "Oh, fuck off!"
What?
Hilarious.
Wow.
Anything nice. It was no, but they're doing it in a breaking your balls. And I told them, I said, "You guys, I performed for a lot of miserable people, but you guys are the most miserable cunts." And I didn't even get to the end of the sentence. They were already dying laughing.
Awesome.
They were just like, I can't explain it, man. I just felt like I get it. I get why I can't take a compliment. Don't like fucking nice shit. If somebody breaks my balls, I literally will run through a wall for them. The second they go, look at you. What do you think? Look at you with your fucking shirt. Immediately, my heart fills up like the fucking Grinch.
That's love.
But if you actually sit there
and pay you compliments,
what you were trying to do at the beginning of the podcast, no, I'll smash this plastic chair over you.
All right. All right. That won't do much.
I wouldn't do that to you. You're a big guy. Big guy from Missouri.
Yeah. But Bill Burr and I got to share a few pints in some cellar bar of wherever we were staying in Dublin, one of the nice joints, I guess.
Singing Christmas songs.
Yeah, singing Christmas.
Being loud. Yourself, yeah.
Here's my favorite part of Dublin for me. We did this promotional thing. Maybe if you folks have seen any promo, but we did all kinds of different ones. And in this particular one, there were some winners of some thing. There were 3 groups of 20, and they had gone on a pub crawl. And at the end of the pub crawl was a surprise, and it was the 4 of us. It was Will, Steve, Paul, and myself.
No way.
We're in this bar in Dublin called, I think it's Toomey's or Tony's. It's one of the old bars, and so we're down there, and we get a pint of Guinness, and we're like, boy, this is so needed right now. This is perfect. We just traveled from New York that day. Right. We did a bunch of press, did the... no, this is before the premiere. We're getting ready to do a premiere. And the owner of the place comes up to me, and he grabs me by the shoulders, straight on, right?
Right.
On either side. And he goes, "You look like you enjoy a pint." He goes, "Tell me, lad, are you Irish?" I said, "Well, actually, yeah, on my mom's side." He goes, "I knew it." And to me, that's one of the greatest things that's ever happened in my life. Because he's like, this is the best pint of Guinness in all of Ireland, right? It's voted the best pint in Dublin. And you know what that means? Was there a better pint than Dublin? Yeah. And I was like, wow, I just went to heaven.
I know, it's fun. So wait, so these people...
Then they'd bring them in groups of 20. We'd say, hi, hi, hi. They all had to gather around us, take one picture.
No, they must freak the fuck out.
Yeah, they're like, well, they're all bombed now because they've been on a pub crawl.
Everybody so that's a nightmare for you guys.
Yeah, it wasn't so bad because the security guys over there were amazing on the international tour. They were like, okay, here's what you're doing, in, out. Take a picture, boom. No more pictures, boom. You can't do selfies. You can't do anything else. Get out, next group. So, but it was amazing. So we did, I think, 3 pints and a shot of Jameson.
Oh, this is making me wish I was back there.
Yeah, and then we went to the premiere, and this crowd was a mob in the greatest way.
Yeah,
it's the greatest energy I've ever felt. And I asked Will and those guys, have you ever been through a gauntlet like that? They're like, no, that was the most intense thing we've ever been through. It was just love.
Yeah, they give it up over there.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to go to Scotland's great.
Yeah.
That whole area, man, like Great Britain, They're like, you know what's funny is I'm mentioning this, like they're all going to get mad if I actually say that people in London were cool. Half the people in England will probably give me shit, but they're like each one of them has their own vibe, the way they're coming at you, and all of them kind of reminded me of people that I like grew up with, man. It's such a great, like if you're going to Europe for the first time, like that's such a great place to start before you get like, you know, because Ireland, you know, some people are like, I don't want to not, you know the language and shit. So that's a good way to
to break yourself into
before then you start going to all these other great places. I was going to ask you, so like when, you know, I've done like the stand-up tours and that type of stuff, and I've done like radio tours and shit. Like, what is? I mean, it sounds awesome. You get to go to all these places, but I know they like stick you in a room, and you just kind of go.
Well, first of all, the hotels they put us in were amazing. So, and on this international thing, you don't even touch your bag.
Oh, that's the shit.
Mean, they pull you, they roll you up, they put you each in an individual car, which, going back to what, you know, the way you feel is like, no, we'll all ride together.
Yeah.
You don't need to put me in one, like, well, there's a row of 6 cars with one person in it. It's like, come on, I'd rather ride with my buddies.
Like but anyway, fucking Led Zeppelin.
I know. So
the Eagles. I heard the Eagles don't get along.
Go, they don't get along. So we do that. They pick you up right outside the plane. Like, we don't even go to the regular deportation thing. Or not deportation, sorry, immigration thing.
Right.
They pick us up outside the plane. They put us in these cars. They take us to the special little room. They
scan your retinas.
Yes.
Steal your ideas.
They get your passports, and you wait in there. You have a tay if you want one or whatever. Then you're like on your way. You don't even touch your bags. You just go to the hotel.
So why the fuck do these movie stars bitch about doing these press junkets like they're difficult? That sounds fucking phenomenal.
Then they're too jaded, and they need to be brought down a peg, and they need to go out on tour doing stand-up for a while.
Their little drink isn't fizzy enough?
Wow. I don't know how people get to that point. I don't know how people get to the point of bitching about convenience. So that was amazing. We go through all that stuff, and then, you know, then you go have a pint at a place like that. It was great, but it was like that all over. It was, you know, Australia we did, and then we did Dublin. We did Sydney, Dublin, and London, first class all the way. And yeah, so you had to sit in one room.
Oh, so you went to
Sydney first,
and then you came back to L.A.
Back to L.A. for Thanksgiving, then New York. I did Bristol. Did ESPN.
Sydney's great, huh?
Sydney's great.
Did you get a chance to look at the beaches and stuff?
No. Well, I did climb some bridge they have you climb. Which
is, I didn't get to do that.
You know what that is, right?
Yeah.
But pretty amazing. So then, but they take care of you all the way. I mean, I feel so bad about it. Like, I need this suit pressed. Is that okay if Paramount pays for the suit because it's been in the suitcase? And so, I mean, I get where you're coming from.
You got to be more of a dick,
right? You got to be an asshole.
You got to add what is this into your repertoire,
right? So then those first class all the way. It was amazing.
That's fucking awesome, man.
But anyway, Billy couldn't come to the premiere because he's in Reykjavik, Iceland, correct? That night, the 15th, last Sunday?
Yeah.
Crushing it. And,
great people.
Or eating shit. I'm not sure which way it went.
No, it went good.
Did they understand you?
Thank God
They got Bill Burr's humor?
It went great.
I love that. It sold out?
I don't know.
There was enough listeners sold out. Just say yes.
No, there was enough people that
these hillbillies that listen to you don't know.
Huh? Well, I can't lie. I mean, I think we did pretty good. I'm definitely going to go back. But I've been such a huge fan of you as far as like that full-on Koechner site, and I've hyped it a number of times. And one of my favorite characters is
is it Roy?
Roy. You know what I love about it is. It's such a specific guy. Like when I do like a gay guy, I do the hacky one that offends them. You know, like Jesus Christ, guys, can't we all just be friends? Which everybody has done. But on yours, it's like the dude has he has an eating addiction. That one where he's
cheesecake
eating
the worst
cake.
One ever. So Roy is a 350-pound gay man who has his boyfriend's name is Roy. He has 2 cats named Siegfried and Roy. So it's really confusing. And I'm not sure which one's the biggest tomcat in the house. It's my Roy. Back off, okay, guys? He's passive-aggressive. He's aggressive-aggressive. He's
mean.
He's mean.
But I know why he's mean.
But he's a sweet. It's because he's hurt.
Because he wants to be loved, and he isn't. And so he lashes out. He's mean. It's such a fucking... Like, as opposed to my horseshit one-dimensional things, this is a fully fleshed-out thing. Like, me and my wife, we watch this and we fucking laugh our asses off. And then recently, that deranged, like that crooked, like bounty hunter one, I actually came across that other creepy one with like the comb over.
Oh, Gerald.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar on him, but that was another one completely.
He's a hillbilly. He's a grifter, drifter, and his best friends are hobos. And I mean real hobos, the guys that ride the trains. His name's Gerald Tibbins. Hey, what's going on, Bill Burr?
How do you?
Burr, it's cold in here. What's that? Boop.
How do you come up with that shit?
That guy's kind of based on this roofer drifter that came through my small town when I was 15, working at my uncle's gas station, beer joint, restaurant. And this is when you'd still pump gas. And this guy was a roofer.
Make somebody a steak.
Yeah, and I would. I swear to God. Here's what a typical day was. In fact, you take someone's order. You go back, you get their soda, or someone else has to get their beer. You start their burger. Ding, ding. Remember the old days when you'd go to a gas station?
You ran over the air hose.
There'd be an air hose that rang a bell inside. Yeah. That means someone go pump gas. Ding, ding. So the burger, you don't flip it yet. You go out, pump gas, get their money, go give them their change. And this is when gas was under $1. Yeah. This is 1977. Under $1. So go back in, and then I dip my hands in the dish soap that's in the sink. That's it. There wasn't even a dishwasher.
Oh, my God.
You dip them in, you rinse them a little bit, and then turn that burger, throw some cheese on it, and go serve the goddamn thing.
As his tank is filling up.
Yeah. Ding, ding.
He's inside his car with the windows up, smoking with the baby in the back.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, that's actually something. I bet if you brought that back, do you think, as far as like a business model, if you brought back an old school gas station where you
with service,
it's a full service thing, and you could actually get a burger, would people be willing to do it? I know hipsters would, and they would pull up and act like they didn't notice that this isn't what every gas station is like.
Right.
But like just for somebody, because like for me, like I was basically came of age in the 80s, but I was a kid in the 70s. Right. So I'm trying to think the lowest. I think I remember 89 cents a gallon.
Wow.
The lowest I remember, something like the mid 70s or something. But I've always wondered, like, if that's just something because I grew up back then. Like I'm like I would love if you could bring back the shit that I remember.
But you know when you go to New Jersey and you got to wait for somebody to pump your gas. It's kind of a pain in the ass now, right?
No, I actually love that.
You do?
I love it. I love not getting out of the fucking car, and I'll pay the extra whatever a gallon.
But you look at those people, and their eyes are bloodshot because they're huffing fumes all day long. You're like, Jesus. It's like the toll booth workers. I worry about them. Why aren't you wearing an oxygen mask?
What was it like when you're a Missouri guy, right?
Yeah.
Growing up out there, were you athlete? Football, wrestler?
No, look at me.
Were you a bully?
I'm nothing. No,
what are you talking about? You're like 6'2", 6'3".
Well, now I am, but I grew up.
Dude, when we were in Atlanta, you put our bus driver in a full Nelson.
God.
You don't remember that?
Well, then
you tipped over while tipping over a fucking couch.
I know.
You were in rare form.
Well, I had a few pints, and I watched Bill Burr.
Yeah, you turned into the Hulk.
Pretty happy.
Yeah.
Pretty stupid. And then Paul Rudd put me in a full Nelson and drugged me out of it.
That's right. Then Rudd put you in the full Nelson.
So
took you out. But by the way, for everybody listening, it was all
fun
fucking around. Yeah, it was all fucking around. Yeah.
But then I apologized to Bill via text the next day, and Bill said that couch had it coming.
Was it? I remember because I was shit-faced too.
Yeah.
And you kept tipping it over, and we kept picking it up, and every time I looked back, you had tipped it over again.
What an idiot.
No, you're not. You're hilarious.
Oh,
if you're not tipping over furniture, you're singing Christmas songs. You're a...
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. That's all we need to know.
We didn't know the end. And have yourself
a merry little Christmas day.
Oh, is that what we said? I thought we said...
What did we say?
I think we were saying gay.
Gay.
We were acting like we couldn't remember it.
Oh, my
So we
gosh.
throw a different word in every time. Speaking of that, did you see the... Well, I shouldn't bring that up because everything's all controversial now.
What is it? You have to know.
Just that Duck Dynasty guy.
Yeah. How long was it before anybody was going to figure those guys out? You give that guy enough...
You know what I don't understand? Oh, I'm going to talk about this on stage, so I don't want to burn the bit. Right. But just the fact that they keep coming after these guys who keep quoting that book. Why don't you go after the book?
What's the book?
The Bible.
Oh, boy.
You know why? The pockets are too deep.
Yeah.
So they go after some guy shooting pigeons on a boat.
Yeah. Well,
that shit was pumped into his head before he grew his first whisker.
Yeah.
You become like the Manchurian Candidate.
Well, has he recanted his statement yet? Has he come out and said his mea culpa and go, I'm sorry, it was my fault?
He'll go to some. This is the thing. Like, I don't think it helps homophobia to make a guy lose his job. Mm-hmm. I think you have to come at somebody in a more understanding way, as opposed to just like.
I don't know how far you go on your podcast, but maybe they filmed him getting a BJ from a super queen.
Okay.
And
he hit her with his beard. So now he's trying to save face. I don't know what's going on. Why would I drag you into that? You're here to hype.
Why not? I don't. It doesn't matter to me. I'm here to talk to Bill Burr. What do I care about? But I don't care about that guy. Whatever. You know what? You learn your lesson. Hey, time to evolve. I think that's the lesson here. Like the Fox report is going. Santa Claus is white.
My thing. What was I say?
You know, those Fox News shows said Santa Claus is white.
Isn't he from the Netherlands?
Well, and Jesus is white too. Yeah, then he would.
I don't think he ever happened. I honestly don't think that guy ever happened.
Which one, Santa Claus or Jesus?
No, Jesus. Santa Claus is real. He's in your heart.
He's in your heart.
He's in your heart. Look, I don't give a shit what color he is.
Yeah.
He comes down my chimney.
He comes down. He still does.
Gives me a couple Cuban cigars. You know.
Is that what your thing is, Cubans?
Yeah.
Good to know, listeners.
I allegedly might have brought some into the country.
In your luggage?
Are you?
I'm not a cigar smoker. I can't do it anymore. I used to be.
Carrier pigeon.
When I got to be about 45, I'd always have a cigar at the end of the night if I'm out with my buddies drinking.
Right.
And which was every night. But when I was about 45, I had one at the end of the night, and I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, they can get you. If you get a strong one and you're huffing that in, I've done that. And all of a sudden you start puking like you're pledging a frat.
I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Which is good.
No, it is a good thing.
I don't need to have anymore.
I do it. Well, what I liked about it was when you smoke a cigar, there's this feeling of accomplishment, whether you did anything or not.
Right.
So if you had a bad day, it's a great choice. You know, I mean, sure, the health side effects is bad, but it's a wonderful thing to do.
You don't have to inhale it, but you just get mouth cancer, not lung cancer, I guess.
Oh, is that right? Is that what happens?
If you're not inhaling.
How do you get mouth cancer
It's damaging to the cells, I'm guessing. I don't know.
It is.
But it has probably less carcinogens than cigarettes because they fill all that stuff with ammonia and everything else.
Well, can somebody figure out like how many you can have a month?
Cigars?
And not die?
Can they hit you up on your website and let you know?
Yeah, somebody.
All right, there's a doctor out there that listens to you who will give you advice. So any oncologist out there want to give Bill Burr
when you buy them overseas, like they don't fuck around. Like over here it says, Surgeon General warning. Over there they go smoking causes mouth cancer, and they show a picture of a guy's cancerous mouth. One time recently I was in Toronto, and I was buying some cigars, and I was at the airport with another comic I was looking at, and he was like, geez, it was like the first time he saw it. I'm kind of immune to it at this point. Right, you've seen enough. But at the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, my God. So I go through periods of cigar smoking. Obviously, when I come back from overseas, like I'm going to do some damage over the next month. How does your wife feel about it? She's cool as hell. Now, did you already talk about your marriage and when it happened and how it happened? Because I don't know this. No, I didn't bring it up because
So it wasn't a big service?
No, I didn't because I wanted to just, people know the name of my dog. They know, my girlfriend at the time. They just knew a lot, and I was just have you not told them that you're married now? I mean, when you go out to my shows, I say I am, but I guess I haven't said it on the podcast yet. Okay. I wanted to have something that was kind of like. You didn't have a big ceremony? No. Okay. Because I would have been hurt. We went out to a duck pond. We had a couple of homophobic guys in boats marry us. Yeah, no. with the big American flag headbands on. So anyway, have you had a reception? What's a reception? For your nuptials, like a party, a celebration. Just say no because you didn't invite me. I think we had an engagement party. I think we had an engagement party. Emmett, how you doing? Dude, you're a fucking movie star. You're flying around. I didn't know you wanted to come to that. Like, I looked at it like, I didn't know you wanted to come to that. Oh, come on. I'm in love with Bill Burr. Ah, Jesus, here it is. Now I'm going to get shit. You should get shit. Listen. Are you registered anywhere? Am I registered anywhere? Yeah, you register. When you get married, you register at places for people to buy you gifts. With these questions, can you tell who handled everything? Your wife. Yeah. I know. I've done it. Yeah, you went through it. Well. It's good. As long as... Did you get a Christmas card from us this year? Dude, I literally you won't just be getting one. I'm taking you off the list, just so you know. That's all I'm saying. Well, listen, I think that's a little childish. Is it childish? Yeah. You want to invite a guy to your... Something. I felt like the second you came in here, you had this chip on your shoulder. So why don't we, now that
got
we're
two
airing
chips.
now that we're airing everything out, why don't you just get it off your goddamn chest?
It's a bag of almonds. And have yourself a merry little Christmas, boy.
There you go. Very nice. Sports affiliation. Sports are big on this podcast. They're going to want to know.
Kansas City
You
Chiefs.
some commie pinko?
Kansas City Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Having
What do
a
you
great
think?
year. I think they're going to make the Super Bowl.
How do you think your coach looks in the new red versus the green?
Reed doesn't look good. I mean, come on. But doesn't matter. I think he's lost a few pounds.
I think it's good. I think he could hide when he was in Philly with that forest green.
Yeah, you can't hide.
You can't. No, you can. No, you can.
The red's
but
not
the
slimming.
red.
It's not slimming. All I know is the dude is winning. He brought in 24 new coaches. He's changed the organization. They won 2 games last year, and now they've completely turned around. We went 9-0.
Okay.
We were the winningest.
Dave Koechner, are you buying or are you selling?
Oh,
I was
you're
joking
right.
with
Nice. That's good.
This comedian Force show. We were talking about that stupid segment that they have on one of those sports channels. You buy it or you sell it. Kansas City Chiefs,
The Chiefs.
in the playoffs.
Yep.
You're sitting there with your plastic helmet, your 2 mugs of beers. You've already beaten half of your children.
Right.
You're ready for game time. What are you thinking? If you get home field, who is stopping the Chiefs?
Well, Denver's done it twice, so they can't do it a third time.
They can't. And what do they always say on ESPN? I'll tell you right now, it's really difficult to beat a team 3 times in 1 year.
Not going to happen.
I like it.
But who are we going to wind up with? Patriots?
Dude, the Patriots are 1 and done in the playoffs. Tom Brady is having one of his best years, and people are sitting there going, "Has he fallen off?" It's just like everybody's been injured. One of our best guys went to prison, and we didn't get anything for him. When your guy goes to prison, you don't get draft picks or anything. Okay, and then our best guy at every level on defense has either been out or is out for the season. Our best linebacker, our best down lineman, two of our best down linemen. And then,
that's a big hit.
Keep Talib, like our guy, you just ignore him on that side of the field when he's playing. I think he's had a hip injury. It's been really a difficult year. And then somehow, if we didn't lose last week, we were actually in the driver's seat to have home field throughout the playoffs. I mean, him and Belichick, it's insane what they've been doing this year.
Yeah.
But you can fool people in the regular season. I'm not going to name names. I'm not going to be a dick. But there's a lot of people that are absolute monsters. In the regular season, you get to the playoffs. It's a different. Everybody has a good defense. Everybody has a good offense. You might get away with it for a week, but once you get into that second week, and forget about the third week. So, we've beat some teams that aren't the greatest teams, padding our victories. But I know when we go to the playoffs, like I don't see us like beating the Ravens. I mean, I know Ray Lewis and those guys aren't there anymore, but it's just.
They won on the foot. They won on their kicker last week.
Who did?
The Ravens.
Oh, did they? I mean, I missed the last 2 weeks of football.
Oh, you've been traveling around the world.
Right.
Wow. Remember that, folks. Bill's been around the world. He's better than you.
No, I haven't. That's
his whole deal. I'm better than you. Hi, I'm Bill Burr. Guess what? One thing you should know, I'm better than you. That's the feeling.
Better than you podcast. Yeah. I like that. No, I'm actually, what I've been telling him last week, before you paint me with your broad brush over there, is that
my red Chiefs brush?
Yeah, I say how bad I did in high school, how much I fucked up in my life, and if I can get to this, you can do it too.
There you go. You're right.
Yeah, come on.
Have the fans heard your coaching bit? Do you still do that one?
Which one is that?
The coaching. You're talking about the Rutgers coach?
Oh, that was a topical one, so I had to kind of stop doing it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, a couple times I'll be on stage and I'll remember it, be like, that was really fun to do.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. And you don't do Schwarzenegger.
No, I put that out on the last special. Oh. Well, I've had this running, that thing. I did a little bit of the bit on Conan, and I riffed some of it that I hadn't done, which was the Disgrace channel and all that. That was just something I literally thought of that night on the show, and I was like, that would have had a lot of legs. But once I do it on TV, it's like I can't do it. But the bit that I've been doing, it just interchanges with names. At first, it was Paula Dean, and then it became Riley Cooper.
You did Paula Dean that night, too.
And then it was somebody else. And then, when I go on Conan, I always have some sort of topical kind of thing that I try to do. I'm working my way up to have the courage to tell a story on those things because, I'm getting my feet wet as far as doing panel. You guys are all experienced doing them. I've only done them a few times. So.
When you do a bit on national television, you never do it in your act anymore? That's it?
No.
Wow.
I shouldn't say that. Like if I do if I did stand up on what it's give us 5 minutes, okay, and I do like a minute and a half condensed version of an 8-minute idea, then yeah, I'll do it again. Or if I touch on it, if I'm doing panel, and but I don't go out on panel like going I'm going to do bits.
Right.
It's more like I'm going to be having a conversation, and it's sort of a free association thing. And then it's like if it comes up,
great,
it goes in.
Well, how about the hardworking moms bit that you did on Letterman? Did that go on a special or no?
That's it. But like the Steve Jobs thing?
Because that one's so good.
The Steve Jobs thing that I did on Night of Too Many Stars?
Yeah.
That isn't. But what I liked about that was they kept the whole piece of it. So what I like about that is, I'm an old school music guy, B-sides and stuff. That's a cool thing. Where it's just like, oh, you can't get that. You have to go on YouTube. You
got to go find it.
And you got to go find it. And if people just start finding out my comedy, they see a special and go, I want to see more of this guy. Like, that's if they just keep seeing different things.
What's gotten you the most attention on YouTube? Philadelphia?
Philly was probably the first thing.
I know. When I try to tell people,
Sherry's Berries from a few weeks ago was another one that got a lot.
A few weeks ago. Okay, but when I tell people what they should check out Bill Burr on YouTube, what should I say? I say, watch the thing in Philadelphia. That's not his thing. He doesn't take on the audience, but it is so fucking beautiful that will give you the full essence of what you have to look forward to.
No. You know how I got out of that, in all honesty, was just knowing sports. And I lucked out where it was, there's all those teams are there. So I was just outside of Philly, and you had teams from D.C., and the Redskins hate the Eagles. You had people from Jersey, and the Red Wings hate the Flyers. You had people from New York, and the Rangers,
but the
Knicks,
best part
the fucking
how much
Giants.
longer? Was it 15 minutes? How much time did you have?
It was 12 minutes.
12? How much longer? I'm doing the full 12.
Yeah.
I don't care. That was the best.
Wow.
Gale force winds of ignorance blowing in your face. You're like, I'm doing the full 12. How much more time? All right, here we go. Yeah. Look at you, you fat fuck. I hope you have a fucking heart attack.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say it was of ignorance. I would say it was more of a mirror. The reason why I do well in front of those drunk moron crowds is because that's basically what I am. That's what I am. That's who I hung around with. Okay. And I don't mean like moron, like seriously, like they're dumb. But you know those guys when you go to a sporting event.
You're being protective of your audience.
No, just the guys who are in your section and that they are drunk and they're kind of scaring people, but they're making their section laugh. Those were the kind of guys that I hung out with. Those are the guys when I went to sporting events. I liked them. So throughout the years, like it just becomes a part of you, and then you do your act, and then you attract that. So when they're yelling at me, I mean, it just feels like the Boston Garden old days when they would call offsides or some bullshit penalty against the Bruins, and all of a sudden you feel like Kerry Frazier when you're down there. But it's more of a familiar sound. So, what do you have?
Club owners like you because your crowd drinks.
Absolutely,
mine does too. They go, "Oh, you bring a drinking crowd."
No, and they love it.
They like that. Yeah.
And then what's good too on the Late Show, if you really want to hook up, if you want to kiss ass to the comedy club, you tell the club owner, hey, is it all right if I go a little bit longer? Just push last call, and they love it. They'll push it a little bit.
A little bit more.
Yeah, you get them that extra round. You do one extra round going all the way around the room.
Do you do 50 minutes or do you do an hour?
When
you're doing a show?
Well, at this point,
theater's different than a club. In a club, do you have a?
If I have, well, I only got one guy in front of me in theaters. If I got two guys in front of me, I'll do like an hour. If I only have one guy in front of me, I do like an hour and 15. If I only have one show, I'll go longer than that. So this hour that I've written, I kind of was working on a couple of stand-up skills.
Right.
That I figured out how to do them, and then
you figured out how to do something new?
Yeah.
What?
Jack Lemmon, dude. Come on, man. You got to keep getting better.
I like this. I like this. I like this.
Jack Lemmon is my guy.
Yeah.
Jack Lemmon, 1960.
Oh boy.
He did The Apartment, and I think he was nominated for an Oscar. Okay. And that was like in the early 60s. And in the early 90s when he did Glenn Ross, Jack Lemmon in the early 90s blew away Jack Lemmon. in the early '60s, and it was that thing where, despite the fact that he was where he was at,
Right.
he kept going. And like, I think what you got to watch out if you create for a living is when you finally fill up a place, and to get like, okay,
complacent.
Not even, or you just go, okay, this is my bag of tricks.
Right.
This is what they want me to do. I don't want to divert from this because I might lose this. And then your creative life becomes like that movie Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
So there was a couple things I've been working on, and what they did was they ended up making 3-minute bits, 5-minute bits, and 6-minute bits, 9-minute bit. And
wow.
I'm not gonna. I'll say off the air what it is because
okay.
I don't want people.
Well, you just said you just figured out some new stand-up thing. What'd you say? Some skills. You said you just figured out new stand-up skills?
Yeah.
And what you mean is like you've been able to extend bits, or what do you mean skills?
I'll tell you. Well, it's like I'll compare it to athletics.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just say, you can't go to your left.
Oh.
So in one summer, you just work on going to your left, and then everybody in the league's like, "Hey, man, he can't go to his left." So they're working on your right. You go to your left, you start scoring more points, and it's like, "Fuck, he's doing this." And then next year, what do? You start clamping down on defense, and you just keep working at that little subtle things, and then hopefully, if people are watching your specials close enough, they're seeing the improvement. Now, I've had people come up to me a few times and say, "Man, I've noticed from this special, you went from this to this, and from this to this one." Like my last special was a transitional one. Mm-hmm. There was things that I was trying to do in that one that I felt like I almost landed but didn't quite land. But I continued working on those skills.
This is one after Fillmore?
Yeah, this is the fuck was that one called? What was my last one called? You People Are All the Same. Yeah.
People, okay.
So that one was a transitional one.
All right.
Like, why do I do this to Let It Go was me learning how to do that. And then I felt like I got it on Let It Go. And then this one, the last one. So I'm hoping not to put pressure on myself. But this is like, what keeps me going. And now right in an hour it becomes like this, not like this dreaded thing like, oh, fuck, how do I come up with another hour?
You get excited. You're like, I'm going to go left.
Yeah, I'm going to work on this thing that I suck at. Mm-hmm. So you feel like when you're going down there, even though you're struggling.
I just had to say it. I can't imagine what you think you suck at. And no one else would think that.
It's because I've learned over the years how to be struggling and make it look like I'm not. Mm-hmm. I'm not even bullshitting, dude. Right. Like, there's all these fucking tricks, which I would tell the fans, but it would ruin them watching you. Like, I'm not going to say what I'm working on
I don't want
to them because then they stop listening and laughing. They start watching like, oh, that's that thing he's working on. Is he sweating? Does he look comfortable? Right. So, off air I can do this. Well, this isn't about you.
I know. I can't figure you out anyway. To me, it's all a dream. So I'm just like watching this thing. I don't know how you put it together. Now, when you write every day?
No.
You don't?
I don't write.
Do you try and write a
Tony V, a long time ago, a comic out of Boston. I did this movie, The Heat, with him. He was in The Brotherhood on Showtime. For some fucking reason, they left me hanging after the second season. It still kills me. You should definitely watch it, but it's such a buzzkill to get to the end. Like, they set this whole... It was based on the Bulgers. Whitey, and what was his other brother's name there? Billy Bulger. Mm-hmm. And it was literally the biggest gangster and the biggest, like, politician. And 1 year, like, Whitey Bulger literally won the lottery. He won the fucking lottery. And I don't know, The Departed space. But basically, those guys are still so powerful that I heard that when they did this, they made this movie, they switched from Boston, this series, they moved it down to Providence. So it was based on that relationship we had. One brother was a politician, and the other brother was a gangster. And I absolutely fucking love the show. Anyways, Tony V.
Ethan Embry was in that show.
Yes. And Tony V was in it. And
so he told you.
Tony was the first comedian. Tony V was the first comedian that I met. Also another cigar smoker. Mm-hmm. So I love running into him. He was the first comedian that I met that did not write down any material.
Really?
And it blew my mind. And I was like, so how do you write? And he goes, when I go up on stage, I just start talking about it. And I just asked him like 2 or 3 questions that he answered. I asked a bunch, but 2 or 3 that I remembered. The other one was, well, what do you do when you forget a joke? What about this great bit you had and you just forget to do it? And he goes, well, that just means it's time to stop doing it. And through listening to guys like him and then starting off with a guy like Patrice O'Neal, rest his soul, who's the best comic I ever saw, and so he naturally knew that from day one. Mm-hmm. Like Patrice used to he used to write in the shower. And he used to joke. Him and Dane Cook. Dane was another one. Dane was another guy. He said, I would think of shit in the shower.
Right.
And they were joking one night to each other, saying, because when you're in the shower, the water going over your head sounds like an applause break.
Oh, that's
so everything.
It's all ego.
So everything. No, they were joking, but they were saying it just sounded like, like you were killing on stage. So I had that.
That's interesting. I will tell you, the best bit I've ever written was in the shower.
Are you joking?
I'm not joking at all.
Yeah.
I'm not joking at all. It came to me in the shower.
Yeah, I used to think of shit when I was in New York. I used to walk around the city talking to myself at night after I did shows, and that's when I came up with stuff. And I used to be that guy. I need to write, and I would sit down with my notebook. And before fucking laptops and shit. I'd sit down with the thing,
right?
Or at least when laptops weighed like 40 pounds, and then I would and one day it just dawned on me, like, I think of shit when I walk around. So I would just start going for walks in New York and go walk around New York at night. I mean, it's obviously a dangerous thing, but it's also a great thing. Mm-hmm. You just see the city in a different way, and you start connecting stuff, and then it becomes this thing where you can't write it down because you're there, and then because you're not right because you're walking around. And then when you get down to the comedy club, if you can't fucking remember it,
then it wasn't worth it.
You got to let go of it. You have to. You got to just think back when you were in high school and you were making kids laugh. You didn't have a fucking routine. You came to school every day and you improv. And if something funny happened to you on the weekend, you didn't rehearse it. You didn't go to 20 other fucking high school cafeterias and try it out and then go out there. Hey guys, I have a wacky weekend. You just did it. You did it and you acted it out and you imitated people. Maybe you stood up and you just did all this shit because you were comfortable.
Yeah.
So it's really, it gets you to that level of comfortableness that you had with your friends.
Yeah.
So that's what you try to work towards, where you're as comfortable off stage as you are on stage, and then you don't have to necessarily, like I'm not going to lie to you, man. If I come up with, I'll write a line or I'll write a word. I usually do a word.
Right.
Like for this thing tonight, like I'm going to go fuck around with this thing tonight. I kind of know what I'm going to say.
Where are you going up tonight?
I'm going to go up down to the Comedy Store.
You go up how many nights a week? Even when you're not on tour?
Yeah, well, because it's like going to the gym. If you don't, I don't want people coming out on tour to see me and see like 3 shows where I'm kind of shaking the rust off.
Yeah.
That's not fair to them, and that's also a major fuck over of yourself because they're not gonna come see you again, and they shouldn't.
We went on a double date one night with Bill and his now wife, and so we went to dinner and didn't have plans for later, and we're like, we're just gonna go see a movie. Come with us. It's a Saturday night. And Bill's like, nah, I'm going to go do a set. And I was blown away. I was like, what? You don't have any? Really? That was amazing to me.
Yeah.
It just meant to me, it's like, wow, you're never going to get there, Koechner.
What? No. Well, you also have, you got like, how many kids you have? Like 19? 5 kids.
5 kids. But we were just going out. I guess I see. Yeah. I need to go out.
Well, I would think the amount of material that's at home.
But people don't want to hear about your kids.
Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
I've had guys come up to me and go, too much kid stuff. And I respect that. Because some drunk in Atlanta.
Oh, there you go. You know what? I got to tell you, where I've gotten in my business, in this show business, is I've based it all on some drunk guy in Atlanta.
Oh,
like his.
Well, I mean, I hear
feelings.
it too. It's
Fuck
like,
him.
Because I think that too. Is like, I wouldn't want to sit around and just hear about your kids all night. When I used to watch Carson.
Bill Cosby himself.
All right.
It's like a fucking hour-and-a-half special. Mm-hmm. I put that right up there with Richard Pryor, the one he did out on Long Beach with the red shirt. Those are the 2 best specials I've seen as far as like, just totally freeform, saying, using all the language and then working clear. That's to me, that is the whole comedy rainbow as far as working totally clean. Although Bill Cosby says asshole one time. Big deal. But like that is basically him talking about his family. And I saw that when I was like, I think 14, 13, when it first came out. And I loved it. I watched it a zillion times.
Okay.
And
that's good to hear.
I'll tell you, here's a great stand-up thing to do. I did it accidentally on an airplane. Somebody next to me was watching Bill Cosby himself, and I couldn't hear the audio. Watch it with the sound down. He's fucking unbelievable.
Wow.
Like, you think he's just sitting there killing?
Right.
You don't realize all the shit he's doing.
Right.
Because when he's taught, when you hear that voice and that thing, to what he does. I mean, that guy is, and this is like, and this was him like 30 years ago.
Right. But he's got just a little, he can have a whole attitude in just one eyebrow raise.
Yeah, no. Did you ever see the Seinfeld documentary?
Yeah.
This is really getting comedy nerd here, but I think, but people like it. Did you ever see the Seinfeld documentary?
Comedian.
Yeah, comedian.
And just so you know, Bill was clutching the microphone
Mic stand.
He was
Like
he was trying to remember the name of it. He was holding the microphone stand. He was holding the cover of the DVD. He was.
I am known for not remember. What did I say earlier when I was trying to say I know what you did last summer? I said I know what you did last Sunday. I'm the worst with those.
I'm terrible.
So, my favorite part in that movie is when Seinfeld goes to meet Bill Cosby, and you see this guy. You see Seinfeld, first of all, he turns into like a little kid.
Yeah.
Like, you just see him hanging on his every word. And Cosby does this quick little thing where he talks about, I forget, it's something about like drawing the crowd in or going, and he just makes this little movement with his face, and he either leaned forward or came back. And I was in the movie theater in my seat, and I leaned forward to the screen.
Wow.
I was just like, this guy is a ninja. Like, he's unbelievable. So, getting back to what you said when you're going like, you're still working on stuff. I mean, I am like that guy, I just got off the ground. Like, that guy is in like, he's like fucking out there with those cell phone satellite fucking things going around the planet.
Angels.
Yeah. Like, so, and I think that there's so many unbelievably talented people out there, and you get sucked into doing other things like writing scripts and that type of stuff, which I'm not saying is a bad thing. Right. But there's just something about stand-up comedy that I like. That's where all my goals lie. So, so I keep working on that. And then any acting work I get, I just consider it as a bonus.
It should be a lot more.
And for years, you've promised me that you were going to hook me up in all your movies. You put your arm around me, and you said, "Listen, I'm doing this little stock car movie called Talladega Nights."
We didn't know each other then.
How do you look in a fire suit?
We did not know each other then.
And I cried when that movie came out, and you didn't put me in it.
Okay. Well, I
20-year-old virgin.
By the way, McKay and Farrell are well aware of you, and they love you.
You didn't put me in.
Just so you know, and you take it. You fucking take this. McKay said, Bill Burr might be the best out there right now. So take it.
Oh, that's because he's too busy editing movies.
Nope. He gets it. He knows. Farrell knows.
No.
They know.
All right, listen. This is about you, my friend.
Nope.
Let's stop with this. Okay.
Well, what I want to talk about is you. So there you go. That's about me.
Well, have you heard about Sherry's Berries? I'll give them a shout out.
Is that one of your new?
Sherry's Berries. They're chocolate covered strawberries. I had to.
Yeah. For Christmas.
Yeah, I kind of lost my shit when I was trying to read, because the copy was, I couldn't figure out if it was homoerotic or homophobic. It just kept going you should see the size of our berries. So that was like homoerotic, and then you get to their phone number, and it was like, call 866-FRUIT. Well, fruit is like a homophobic name. It was fucking, it reminded me of that sketch, remember that Alec Baldwin, that Sweaty Balls? It was literally like, I thought it was a joke. So, and plus I was jet lagged or whatever. So, I think I'm going to see when that one comes in, I'll see how many, I think I sold a lot.
All right.
Yeah, just by acting like a fucking idiot. Yeah. All right. Sherry's Berries. So I gave him a free plug there.
That's good.
A free
Sherry's
plug.
Berries.
What can I'm going to go into press junket here.
Okay.
What can people look forward to seeing here with
the new Anchorman? Or
no, I don't want to give away anything.
Okay.
And here's the deal.
Have you seen it yet?
No, because I'm trying to coordinate with like 5 people where we are the biggest Anchorman nerds.
That's awesome.
And it's like, I want to go with all of them. I want to go during the day.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to hear every joke. Mm-hmm. And I personally, I want to see it a good 3 times before I buy it on Laserdisc, DVD, and all that.
Yeah.
Dude, when we were doing that, when you saw us in Atlanta, we must have watched that movie like 5 fucking times. It's like our, what's that? Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Yeah.
That's like our movie. It was me, Jason Lawhead, the dude you hugged, and Paul Verzi, my buddy from New York. You got to meet him, man. Great guy and a hilarious guy. And we would just pop that thing in, and it's just
good jokes.
Oh, the second they get made Frank Sinatra look like a hobo. We were just sitting like we might as well have been in our pajamas watching it.
That's
so
awesome.
I'm so fucking excited to see this movie. I'm so happy for you guys that they able. I remember I asked for years. I'm like, why the fuck aren't they doing another one? And you were like, I remember you going like, the script is written. And what is it? Because everybody downloads stuff now. Like, why did it take so long?
Oh no, for a couple of reasons. First of all, because Adam and Will weren't keen on doing sequels.
Okay, I understand that.
And then the movie wasn't a hit. It only made $85 million domestically. It's a modest hit, so that there was no demand from the studio. Like, let's get more money.
Wait, it made 85 at the box office?
Yeah, which is not huge. Then a hit's $100 million. Then you're like, okay, let's make another $100 million.
Well, what did it cost to make?
That one cost $24 million, and then they figure they spent $20 million to market it, so that's $46 million.
All right, let's bring it to regular people. Yeah. Regular people numbers. If somebody put $240 down at the track and then they left with $850, they'd be pretty psyched.
Right.
They'd be buying drinks for people. And they would definitely say, hey, let's do this again. I like this.
The problem is they put down how much?
$240.
Put it $240, then you made $241. That was more like it. Because you only get half the revenue from the you also you put $48 down.
All right, slow down.
$44 down. So it's $24 million to make the movie.
Then grosses.
Yes. Then $20 million to advertise the movie. So now it's $46 million you spent on this movie. Now the movie makes $85 million at box office. The studio gets half of that.
Okay.
So they're still in the red.
So you still walk with $200.
Right. $200.
Well, 200 in your world is $20 million.
No. They get half of the 85. So they only made 42, 43. So they're actually
How is only making $43 million back?
Because then you broke even. That's all they did.
Oh, with the advertising.
Yeah. You spent $20 million on advertising, prints and advertising. So the real cost of the movie was $46 million or $44 million. So they didn't get a huge profit.
So do you really just have to be a crook to somehow get over the bar?
Well, no. What happens is
how do you make money?
If they make $100 million, now they've made $25 million,
and they're happy. So they are just looking to make their $25 million.
Yeah, it's all a business.
Okay.
Nobody cares about if it's good or not. Did I make money? And I don't blame them. They're in a business. So
I've always said that.
But what happened later then was DVD sales and cable reruns. It became a hugely popular movie. And after about 6 years ago, it became this thing like, wow, something's going on with this. When you see all the T-shirts and the quoting everywhere in pop culture, it went away.
Now, who got the money on that?
Oh, Paramount.
So
it's their property.
Oh, so they made all. Wait, so the guys that you're talking about didn't make any money. You're saying that's Paramount didn't?
Initially.
Okay,
right.
All right.
So then it was clear like there's something here. Then people were like, anytime I'd go on a press junket or Steve or Will or Paul, your movie. What about Anchorman 2? It became this cult phenomenon, which became a pop culture phenomenon. Like you couldn't ignore. There's a big thirst for this picture. And then the studio picked up on it. And then whatever it was 2 years ago, they weren't planning on doing it, but then they had something fall out of their schedule. And so Adam and Will approached them again. They said, yeah, let's do it. And there was a little haggling over the budget, and then because they.
So did the four of you ever get on the phone? If there's a possible four-way phone call, was there any like?
No, there was no hesitation.
Giddy. Can you fucking believe we're doing this?
That only happened when we all met together in Atlanta when we were shooting the last week of February.
I'm the worst interviewer. This is what I should have got to. What?
Sorry.
So
we'll
what was that
stuff? People have to wait. They got to fucking enjoy Bill Burr.
What was that like when you guys got the band back together?
I'll say this. No, before that we got together to shoot that little teaser commercial after Will had announced it on Conan.
On Conan, it came out with the flute.
Yes.
Oh, that was awesome. Then we
met and did that teaser trailer.
Right.
Coming in a year and a half, Anchorman 2. But that was so early. But we did that so they couldn't pull the plug. There's no way they can go back.
Oh, that's
we're going to announce it. He announced it there. Now we're going to do this teaser. So here we go.
So that was an offensive move. That wasn't like the studio going, "Hey, go put on your costume." He was like, "No, we got to make sure that they're going to do this.
Let's put one out. Let's keep goosing this thing." And but I'm sure Paramount paid for that, so they knew. But Will made the announcement, so there's no going back.
So the first day you're in Atlanta and you're shooting, and the first day you go down, it's in the scene involves shooting all four of you, and you're all.
Well, no, the first day that we got together was a day where we recorded some stuff in. I got a picture here somewhere. Recorded some stuff at a studio. There's a song in the movie. There's a song we recorded for the movie that didn't make the movie, which is going to be out on DVD later.
I'm such a big fan. I've actually downloaded the music.
Already?
No, I downloaded like what was that song off the first one? 73 men sailed.
Oh yeah, Brandy.
Yeah. No, from the San Francisco Bay. What is the name of the song? Rolled off of the ships.
And here's what they had to say. Ride, Captain, ride upon your mystery ship. Mm-hmm.
We were playing that on the bus, man. After we finish the gig, the next morning we wake up, we start cranking that.
I don't know. I took so many pictures off this phone. I had a picture of us the first day we got together and recorded. It was 9 years later. It was amazing. Sorry, I can't find it. But it was, Adam and Judd and Will, Paul, Steve, and Christina, myself. And that was like, wow, here it is again. That's nice. Finally.
What I was getting at, the first time you guys were you dressed up in character and you had the cowboy hat.
The day that we shot that little
Steve
teaser.
Carell does that thing where he doesn't move his arms, how they're straight down.
Right.
That blew me away when you let me come down that day. Just let people know I was doing a gig in Atlanta.
Right.
And somehow you knew I was there and you said, hey, you want to come down there?
Well, I knew you were coming to Atlanta to do a show. Right. And you happened to be in town that night. So you
that was unreal. We went down there.
The set visit.
So we go down. I'll tell the story. So we go down to the Anchorman set, and we're sitting there already smiling, going like, "What the fuck is this gonna be?" Like we don't, we're ready to be like quiet, like church mouses. Like we go down there, like just don't get in the way, don't piss anybody off, don't step on any cable. And we go down there, and the first one we go to meet, we go up to your trailer, and they knock on the door, and you knew it was us, and Dave, you fucking burst open the door, and you start going. Like, he's gesturing towards me the whole time. It's me and Jason standing there. He just goes, the man, the myth. He's shouting across the parking lot, the legend. He's had all these things. And you start walking towards me like you're going to give me this big bear hug. And at the last second, as I reach out to hug you, you cut a hard right and just give a big bear hug to my buddy Jason. You left me hugging air.
Who I'd never met.
I had fell for like one of the oldest comedy tricks in the book. Yeah, and then you give Jason this big bear hug like you went to war, buried your face in his neck, and he's laughing his ass off. And then that was it. And then we start walking down to the set, and then Paul Rudd comes out of the trailer.
Big fan. Paul's a big fan of yours. Totally
dressed as Brian Fantana, the whole fucking get up. But he's talking like him. He's like, oh, hey, man, what's going on? And I'm fucking saying, oh, my God, it's Brian Fantana. Like, I was trying not to be that. And we went down to the set. And that's what killed me when I went down there was the scene involved all of you guys. And I got to see you guys talking before. Mm-hmm. And then the second you guys are getting ready, all of your body language changed and you became those guys. Oh, yeah. Like when I said Steve Carell was like, talking, right. And then all of a sudden his arms just go straight down. And we were sitting there like, he's fucking Brick. Right. He's being Brick now, and Will was signing off doing something, and he did some little like that little pound on the desk, like he had done a good job, just the way which was unlike any of the other characters that he's done. So just as a comedian, just watching that skill level as an actor was just it was fun. And I got to tell you, when we left, and Will was great. He's totally stayed in character and trashed Jason. I forget what he said. He just said, oh, yes, I've heard wonderful things about you talking to me. And then just points at Jason. But you, just the litany of horrible, just one of those whole thing. And so we ended up, I'm smiling now. We got in the cab and went back, and we sat there just like ear to ear fucking grins. I'm telling you, dude, that was one of the coolest fucking thing that's ever happened. So I'm so beyond psyched that this thing's coming out. So how many days did it take you to shoot it?
I think there were 55 days on this one, and there were 45 in the last one.
And is that relatively quick for something like that?
Not quick, normal.
Normal.
That's normal. It's relative to budget. You want 60 or something like that. I think it was 55. The first one was 45 days, which was a long one for that kind of budget. It was all here in town. So yeah.
Oh, you shot that first one here?
Well, yeah, it's here, and then like 1 or 2 days in San Pedro, and then or Pedro, depending on where you're from, and then I think they just did some exteriors in San Diego because all of San Diego thinks it was shot there.
Right.
But it wasn't.
Exactly.
Exteriors only.
Right. Was it Jack Black scene where he punts the dog?
Nope.
Where was that?
He was here somewhere. Some bridge in L.A.
All right. Well, what else do you have? Well, how long have we been doing here? I've got to make sure I don't want to keep them too long. 60 minutes? All right. Look at me. Okay. Feeling an hour. Perfect.
The guy knows. What else? I'm going to do a stand-up tour in January, February, March. Go to davidkoechner.com, and you can check all the dates. I think it starts in Boston.
Koechner.
Ner. Yeah. Or follow me on Twitter at David Koechner. Then there'll be some, follow the links and all that stuff. But I think I start in Boston and Philly.
You at the Wiltern? You going out to the Wiltern?
I can't remember where it is.
Okay, cool.
Some smaller theaters.
All my Boston fans out there, come on, man. You got to come down.
Things. I'll hit you up.
Definitely.
There you go. I'll hit you up to produce it.
And that full-on Koechner thing, is that your own YouTube channel?
That's my YouTube channel, but I just signed a deal to do a thing with NBC. So I'm going to do a variety show. So those characters will make their way onto that stage. I do those characters on stage too. And Bill Burr, we were talking earlier, has some stuff percolating, some deals. Someone should make
No. This is about you. Okay. This is about you.
I don't care. I'm talking about Bill Burr. So I got a TV show.
You have something that's coming out.
Okay.
So that's
another one called
That's different than fucking
Cheap Thrills,
ideas being thrown.
Great little movie. Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills. Okay.
Yeah, it's a sinister thriller with dark comedic undertones. I didn't know it's funny. We shot that in 12 days in Los Angeles. I think I made like $25 a day to shoot this thing. Turned into a masterpiece. It's a beautiful little film. It's dark, and I watched it twice with festival audiences, and I couldn't believe there were laughs. I had no idea there were laughs in this movie. And I thought, now how do you describe this thing? I thought it was this thriller,
right?
But now it's one of the darkest comedies you'll ever see.
Awesome. And so where can people see it?
Well, it's going to be out in March.
And it was called
Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
All right, in your back catalog, what's your favorite movie thing that you did? That you did that didn't get the attention you felt it did, just to steer some people to something
probably
cool.
Extract. I got to play this character in Extract, which is a Mike Judge film, of this nebbish neighbor that just tortures Jason Bateman. Thank you. I kept thinking Reitman. Jason Bateman, and it was so much fun. I could do that for 10 years.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, just this neighbor that's a nudge, and you're like, oh God. And
is that up on Netflix or anything?
Yeah, sure, it'll all be up there. And there's a thing that happens to him badly in the end, and the audience applauds. Oh, the guy, he's so annoying.
Now that's got to make you feel like you did your job when you go to the premiere. Like, they hated me. All right.
Yeah, absolutely hated him.
All right. Well, listen, man. This is the first interview here at the brand new All Things Comedy Studios.
We forgot to talk about Jay Moore.
Oh, yeah. You mentioned, I'm a huge fan of his.
We both love Jay Moore. He's not been on this podcast.
He has not.
Now, have you?
And he's complained, and he's complained about it on Twitter. Right. So as you can see up on the board, I have Jay Moore
big board
somewhere
on the bottom,
around like 72nd out of 75.
Yeah.
We're gonna
before that. There's a line that says guys who probably won't get to.
Yeah,
Jay Moore.
I'm breaking Jay's fucking balls.
We both love Jay.
I love Jay. I got to get him on this podcast, but I've been on tour. He was breaking my balls on Twitter, so I'm just fucking with him.
All right, well, I'm going to break his balls tonight. So you've not had
who does better impressions than Jay Moore?
Well,
I've never.
Here's the thing about Jay Moore. He broke the impression for Christopher Walken and let everybody else do it.
Dude, he does.
That's amazing.
He does Colin Quinn.
I love his Quinn. I could.
He does Harvey Keitel.
He's amazing. I'd love sitting there and doing Colin Quinn with him because it's so good. You love Colin, right?
Yeah.
I love Colin Quinn.
Fuck yeah, obviously.
But more almond noises.
More almond noises. All right. Well,
but Jay Moore Sports, you're not going to be on this podcast ever.
Huh?
Ever.
I got to get him on.
Nope.
I got to get him on.
How many guests have you had on?
That's the thing. I think the last guest
you had some. But not Jay Moore.
Maybe Dom Irrera I had on?
I love Dom. But not Jay Moore.
Not Jay Moore. I have not had him on.
Hey, Jay.
Can we sing him a little Christmas before we go?
Yes.
And have yourself a Jay Moore Christmas time. All right, very
Jay Moore
special.
will not be on this podcast?
Yes, he will be. He will. I'm sorry, Jay. I'm on the fucking road, you cunt. That's it. That's the podcast. I don't even need to go see Anchorman 2. I know you're going to see it. You got that one coming out.
Cheap Thrills.
Cheap Thrills is coming out. Look for his new show. Meantime, go to DaveKoechner.com, at Dave Koechner, and check out Full On Koechner on YouTube. That's all I can do to whore you out, sir.
I love
you. You were tremendous. I love you, too. All right, brother. Thank you.
All right.
and have yourself